Okay, ninth session, adapting to different levels and learning styles. Today, we're going to work with how to personalize content for different proficiency levels, use learner data to adapt our instruction, and design meaningful tasks for mixed ability groups. So, this content is important, guys, because one thing you need to understand is not every student learns the same way. And you guys know it because you learn different ways. Most of you are visual learners, some others are better listeners, some others like just to read, some others like to write, different combinations. Children, they are mostly like they need to be movement. Like that's why TPR is so great for children. So you need to adapt your activities. And at the same time, what happens if you have students who are on different levels and you need to teach them or work with them with the same type of exercise? So we will talk about it, how to adapt it, and at the end, we will design an activity for different learners in the same classroom. So the path to follow seems like, oh, okay, it's right straight ahead. It's easy. But if you don't have control with your speed, if anything fails, well, there you go, my friend. Way down we go, and you know it. So to prevent that, you learn to adapt the content. So how to adapt content for different language levels. First thing you need to bear in mind, align your tasks, every single one of your exercises with the CFR scale. We have talked about this a lot, and especially those who have been my students in previous subjects. And by this time, you should already know what the scale A1 to C2 is. That's something you should, like, I take it for granted. You must know it. So you need to align your tasks with this, because a student who is mostly B2, for example, he or she will find extremely easy exercises for A1, even for an A2 level. It will be extremely easy for that student. But if you present that student with B2 or C1-like exercises, it's not only challenging, but it's more productive for the student. So that's something you need to aim for. Now, simplify or enrich vocabulary and instructions. Remember when we had the class with Professor Carla Rodriguez, and she gave you this amazing tip, and I remember, it's recorded, by the way. I remember that every time she repeated that, I told you guys, take this into account for the class you are about to design. The tip she gave was for the instructions. She said, for instructions, if your instruction is too long, you can try and summarize your instruction in only 3 sentences based on the 3 actions that your students need to do. For example, if you have a song, your activity is with a song, and the instruction might be a long one, okay, 3 sentences summarizing the instruction, like, listen to the song, complete the lyrics with the appropriate form of the verb, read the sentences aloud. 3 sentences. It's a long instruction, but I summarized it in 3 sentences. That's something you should do. That's something I didn't see in most of your classes. That's why I was surprised. This long as instructions, and it was like, why? Just summarize it with 3 sentences and it's way better. It's way better. Provide leveled reading and audio materials. Even for the academy I worked for, the one with this name, English Bytes, sometimes, I mean, I told you, they give us the lessons are already designed, and they tell us, okay, you have the lesson, you can customize the lesson for your student. And that's perfect. They have no problem with that. As long as, for example, if I'm teaching reported speech, I personalize the class, I customize the class for my student who loves talking about football because his sons play football. Okay, but I use football vocabulary and the vocabulary of him taking his songs for training with reported speech. I can use any vocabulary I want as long as I keep talking about the main topic. And I use that with the student that knows how to do it. But what happens if I have a student who is taking the classes on the elementary level, which is basically level 2? And I present that student, that's level B1, basically A2, B1. And I present that student with reported speech. That student wouldn't know what to do because reported speech is something too high for him or her. Yes, a student at the elementary level should know about present simple, present continuous, past simple, and should be starting with present perfect. But reported speech, you need a lot of tenses. So I cannot present a student at elementary level with exercises on a higher level. I need to understand the level of my student, and that's uniformity. Now, use scaffold like visuals, sentence frames, or translation tools. Remember, scaffold, yes, it comes from scaffolding. And what does scaffolding do? It takes you step by step towards the goal. You take your student by the hand. If you know you're going to present them with a reading, and the reading is, let's not say complicated, but the reading has a lot of new words. Okay, first, introduce the new words for the student. Before the reading, introduce the new words. Have the student do a matching exercise so that he or she gets familiar with the meaning of the new words. Then have your student complete sentences using those new words so that now he or she understands the use of those words in a context. Then have your student answer questions using those new words. Finally, present your student with the reading. We have a class in English Bytes. What lesson is that? Informal, I can't remember the name. No, I'm not gonna look for it. But we have a class on the English Bytes course, which presents the student with informal words from informal English. It's on the on the intermediate level. Some of those words are, and this is for you, Becky. You love new words. Knackered. Sorry. You see? I also have problems with this. Yeah, for example, knackered. You have a lightweight. This is not new. Some of you know it, but it's geek, and it's also a common word. But for those students, they maybe don't know it. among other words. We also have dodgy. So I know these words are in the reading. So what did I do? I separated these words. First, they have a matching exercise. They have the words on the left, and on the right, they have the definitions. Knackered. Knackered is when you are absolutely tired. It's like you are tired, exhausted, wasted, knackered. It's like absolutely destroyed. You cannot move a muscle. You're so tired, it's knackered. Lightweight. Lightweight is a person who does not tolerate alcohol. Only one beer, only one glass of wine, and boom, immediately gets knocked down. A lightweight. Geek, is a person who is a big fan of comics, a big fan of Harry Potter, Star Wars, and that person has a collection of toys, books, knows a lot about. That's a geek. Dodgy is an adjective. Dodgy is something that appears to be dangerous. You say, oh, a dodgy part of town. La Savila in Barquisimeto is a dodgy part of town. Now you get the meaning. Then I have the student use those words in questions, and finally, they read. When they are in the reading, they already know the meaning of the new words. I scaffolded the activity for the students. I prepared my students for the activity. Now, when you analyze the data of your student, data can help you teach smarter. Tell me, Hidayat.
Dodgy again? What was it?
Dodgy, it's a place that it's dangerous or seems to be dangerous, a place that you evade, that you don't go to.
Okay.
That
Uh,
dodgy.
Sorry,
Dodgy.
I read
It's an
doggy.
adjective. It's an
Okay,
adjective.
okay.
It's an adjective.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. You're welcome. Sorry. Let your data help you teach smarter. Okay. What can you do with the data you get from your students? Okay, you monitor your student participation and quiz results. It will show you how much they have progressed. Identify who's struggling or progressing quickly. You can adjust materials. Pacing is like how fast or slow you teach something. And the feedback style. Does your student like you to tell him the mistake he made immediately? Or does your student like him to tell you, you to tell him the mistakes they make at the end of the class? It depends on your student. You need to know your student. And of course, you can use Google Form, Kahoot reports. Remember, when you finish a Kahoot, it gives you a report. The same thing with quizzes, just to have the data of what your students are doing. It helps a lot. In fact, with this, when it says monitor student participation, you think I don't, and you might not understand it by here, but when I write you can see it. This is from the other Saturday, and it has a lot of letters, but on top of your names, I write like a little dot every time you guys participate, so that I know at the end of a semester, when I check on the participation and attendance, okay, I can see who participated, who did not. I monitor your participation. Now, one task, many levels. Let me give you an example that you're gonna need it for the activity we're gonna do today. And there was a time that I was working in Venezuela. I was working in this academy. I don't know if it still exists, but it's called Alpha Learning. I was working there. Let me know if it still exists. I have no idea. And I was in charge during some time of the conversation club. Well, not a conversation club per se, but it was like the conversation classroom. In Alpha Learning, they had this system where the student got into a cubicle with the teacher. The teacher would teach the student whatever lesson they had to teach them, would check on their progress. Then the student would go to the writing practice room, do their exercises. After that, the student would go to the alpha room, listen to something with the alpha method, just relax, basically sleep and listen to something in English. And after that, the student would go to the conversation classroom. There was a cycle. In the conversation classroom, and let me know how you would do this. There would come a time, and it happened to me many times. Let's imagine that these were my students at the conversation classroom. So she was on the last book of an English course. So I know that I can speak in English to her with basically no problem. She was in the second book. So she understands basic stuff. She was just starting the English course. She had just started. She's on lesson 3, book 1. She was in the English course, abandoned it for 2 months, and came back, so you cannot tell what's her exact level. And this guy here, he just came into the academy with his parents to ask about the academy, the price, the lessons, and the guys from sales, they would often take these new people into the conversational room just for them to see while they try to persuade their parents to pay for the English course. So this guy knows anything. This guy is Jon Snow. He knows nothing. So what would you do? You have different levels. You cannot use full English because she's the one who will understand you. And maybe she understands you a little bit. You cannot be too basic because it will be difficult for them, or not difficult, too easy for them and good for them and him as well. So you need to create an activity or adapt an activity so that every single one of your students with different levels feel included. So you can do things like when you do, let's say, a dialogue. Okay, you give them different roles, like the role-playing games. That's something you can do. But the tasks should have different complexities about the same topic, because you are not going to have them working with one thing, them working with another thing, and okay, you sit down with him. So you do it, and at the same time, another one arrives in the classroom. What are you going to do? You need pictures and stuff, especially in that example I'm giving you, it was in a physical classroom. But this example is online, so you have a lot of resources to use. The thing is, how can you make that your students, every single one of them, feel challenged? Like, hey, this is difficult, but I know the teacher got my back. He is going to help me. Okay, so you have to scaffold the learning, just like I said some minutes ago. You could have, like, you pre-teach key vocabulary or grammar, like I mentioned with the words knackered, dodgy, geek, etc. You pre-teach the words. That's something that everyone should know, even the starters. Then you offer sentence starters or response frames, because an advanced student normally knows how to answer a question. But a student in the intermediate level maybe doesn't know how to do it. A student at the starter level maybe doesn't know how to do it. So you give them like some, I wouldn't say prompts, like models of sentences, and they can just change some words and they feel secure when they talk. You can model tasks. Like, let me give you an example. So you talk with the most advanced student and you see how the student responds and they see the example. Then you can also pair your students. Okay, let's have the advanced student with the starters so that he can help them. So you do that. Yeah, don't worry, Sophie, don't worry. And of course, you should have everything organized in like graphics, have step-by-step guides to help you show them. Here I'm talking about an online classroom. If it's a physical classroom, then you can have something printed for the students to have or written on the board, and that also works. So this is the activity I want to help you design today. So imagine that you have this classroom, this diverse group. In this group, you have students who are in the starter level, you have students who are like in the intermediate level, and you have a couple of students who are at the advanced or upper intermediate level. You need to design an activity with the same song for every single one of your students. You know that for the advanced students, the intermediate, upper intermediate students, if you have them find the names of the colors in the song, find the names of the emotions in the song. That's really easy for them. But you can change the activities. Look at this. I want you to try and design this activity. The activity is a multi-level listening menu, one song, 3 challenges. So first, I want you to think, and you can propose that on the chat. One English song suitable for ESL learners. You could work in groups if you want to, or we can just try it on the chat. But the thing is, you have to design an activity for the starter students. On that activity, they are going to identify simple words like colors, numbers, basic verbs in the song. Then, with the same song, you're going to design another activity, which is the main course, for the students in the middle. For them, they need to do a filling missing lyrics and answer comprehension questions because they can do it, especially the B2 ones. And the dessert is for the advanced students. With the same song, they are going to reflect on the song's message, the tone of the message, like is it a happy song? Is it a song that makes you reflect on your past? Or does the song talk about any social issue happen currently? That's for the advanced students. So the idea for us now, on this time we have, is to design this activity. So first, let's decide on the song, guys. What song do you think we could use to design these 3 different activities? Sympathy for the devil. Well, please allow me to introduce myself. I'm a man of wealth and taste. I've been around for a long, long year. Pleased to meet you. Hope you guess my name. I was puzzling you is the nature of my game. Not complicated. It could be. It could be. New Rules, Dua Lipa. I got new rules, I got them. I only remember okay, one, to pick up the phone. It's a little bit fast. Don't pick up. I know the lyrics, but I cannot sing them at her speed. Don't pick up the phone. You know that he's calling because he's broken alone, I think she says. Roar by Katy Perry. Katy Perry has really good songs for this type of activities. Fireworks, for example, is amazing for this type of activities. Fireworks is amazing. Hotel California, it describes and not about yeah. Hotel California has a really deep meaning. That's another good example. But the best idea for this kind of activities, guys, it's a really popular song. Maybe, I mean, we know Hotel California, we love it. But a teenager doesn't know Hotel California. A teenager doesn't. And maybe in your classroom, you have adults and you have teenagers. Adults will be happy, yeah, welcome to the Hotel California. But teenagers will be like, what the hell is that? Is that on TikTok? Activity with Last Friday Night. Yeah, because Katy Perry, like I mentioned, has really good songs for this type of activities. Wind of Change, that's amazing, but teenagers will have no idea what it is. Middle, what? Tell me, Hidai.
Sorry, my keyboard is a mess. Um, what about, yeah, BTS is really good. What about Taylor Swift or Billie Eilish? Billie Eilish,
Mm-hmm.
Very a Friend, has a deep meaning, has colors, I think. I don't remember if it has
Could
numbers.
we shake it off?
Shake It
Shake
Off
it off.
is a good
Yeah, the
one.
Blank
problem, I
space.
mean, I really like Billie Eilish, but there are some of her songs are really difficult, I mean, to understand because of the way she sings. Because she sings, like really low. Some of the songs. Or maybe they are too fast. So you're a bad guy, really, really tough guy. Is maybe a little bit fast. I I still stick to Katy Perry, I think. Like a Prayer, Madonna. We Are the World, MJ. We are the world, we are the children. Yeah, that's another good one. Let's do this. Let me quickly, while you talk, I will Google the lyrics for Fireworks. Katy Perry, Fireworks lyrics. Yeah. Let me get some captures because I know the song, but I don't know the lyrics, of course. And you have heard the song, of course. Okay, let me copy this. So let me, no, wait, let me add, I need to add another page. Give me a second. Mhm. Mhm. Okay, I need to add another page. Sorry. Insertar página en blanco. Okay. Rainbow. The last thing I copied was rainbow. Give me a second, guys. I'm getting the captures with the lyrics so that we can work with this. So we can, for those visual students over there, like Grecia. Uh-huh. There we go. Okay. So I mentioned the Katy Perry thing because really popular. This song is like, I would say easy to understand. Middle by Zed. I maybe I've heard it, but I don't know exactly. So here we have the song. So let's focus first on this activity. Starter A1, A2. Identify simple words like colors, numbers, basic verbs. So guys, which words would you have your starter students to identify? I mean, they are going to listen and they will take notes of those words. So which words would you have your starter students identify and take notes from this song? Take a look. I know most of you know the song, some others don't, but just take a look. Remember, starter students, their job is to identify basic vocabulary. So what kind of vocabulary? Are you gonna have them find nouns, adjectives, verbs in simple present, adverbs, frequency adverbs, whatever? Take a look and let me know in the chat. I'll let you know if it's a good idea or not. Let me know in the chat. Feelings in past, says Anna. Problem is, if they are starter students, not all of them know about the past. Not all of them. Not all of them know about the past. Verbs in simple present, says Salvador, and Fernando says, aha. The thing is, do we have enough verbs in simple present? Let's check. Feel like, to be honest, but if it's a starter student, wouldn't know what feel like that they work together. Feel again. This is a comparison from Kevin. Do you ever feel? Screams to hear. Do you know? Still, well, if they want to identify this, but maybe some of it can't. Ignite, let, own. Yeah, good. There's a lot of present simple verbs. Come, make. Okay, so let me write it down. So for starters, find verbs in simple present. Okay, that's good. Good there, Salvador. Phrasal verbs for starters, Jaxelis? No.
Do you see the comment? Forget it. No.
Wouldn't that be simple for... No. The thing is, Hidai, that this activity is... I mean, you're going to use the same song, Hidai. This activity is only for the starters. Then you're going to design other two separate activities for the intermediate and the advanced students. The advanced students,
same activity for all of them with the same song.
No. Yeah, it's the same song for everyone,
but not the
different.
same
But not the same activity.
Okay. Got it.
Personal pronouns. Let me see. Do we have you, it, but this is not personal. But personal pronoun doesn't work because we have you all the way around. There's the only personal pronoun. But this one is good. Verbs in the simple present. That's it. Good. Now, guys, for our main course, B1, B2, fill in missing lyrics and answer comprehension questions. So, what missing lyrics are our B1, B2 students going to fill in? They're going to have the song with some empty spaces. So what words are we taking out of the song for our intermediate or elementary students? Take a look. Take a look and let me know. What words are we taking of? Take a look. What words are they going to take out? Take off, sorry. I repeat, they're going to have the song and they need to, you are going to have empty spaces. Which words are you taking off the song so that they listen to the song and complete? Mhm. You can either write on the chat or make the comment. Okay.
But teacher, words like we are going to keep working with the same topic, like words like verbs, or
It's a different activity with the same song.
okay.
It's a different activity with the same song.
Teacher, also, I've been trying to take off some words on the left side, but those words that I'm taking off can be replaced by something else if the person doesn't know the lyrics. Will that work as well? Can we allow them to change the lyrics? Because it's an activity anyway.
Yes, that's another thing. You can, like, for example, words that sound similar. Do you ever feel already very deep? Yeah, instead of deep, then you write dig. You have something like this. And they need to choose the correct word they hear.
Okay.
Mhm.
That would be a good one.
Okay, Fernando says, feel like, drifting, paper thin, house of cards, sparking, ignite the light, make him go, shoot across, waste of space, what the future holds, comes a rainbow. Now, the thing is, Fernando, do those words or expressions have something in common? If they have something in common, remember you need to give them instruction. Are you going to have like those words like in a separate box and they need to look where they go? Or do they have a similar category? Because this is an example. You have like, do you ever feel already buried? And then you have dig or deep. They need to listen and then select which one they heard. That's a good activity for our intermediate students. Because the starters are working with only verbs in simple present. That's what they are doing. You can tell me, Jacqueline?
For example, words like house, like bag, like paper, like maybe firework, colors, and maybe
And if you see
sky.
they are really basic words. So
Yes,
there is something I don't want to tell you guys exactly what to do. I got an idea with what Jaxeli said,
yes.
but I want you to think about it. They are really basic words.
They
So
are. I forgot the name of sustantivo in English. Sorry,
nouns.
nouns. They are nouns. So they will have to find synonymous because they are
Synonymous.
synonymous with these words. So they will have to complete the song and also find synonymous with these words that I selected. I don't know.
That's
It
one way
work?
to look at it. That's one way. There is an even, I wouldn't say easier, but better one. I have it in mind. I don't want to say it. I want to wait until one of you says it, if you come to think. But the idea, Jaxelis already gave you the idea, guys. There are a lot of really basic nouns. If you take a look, fireworks, sky, there's a lot of really basic nouns. So what can you have your intermediate students do with those basic nouns? Take a look and think. I don't want to tell you the activity.
Yo iba a decir lo mismo que María Daniela. Sentences. Create sentences news or related to the song.
Create sentences with the words? Not exactly.
Maybe match, something like that. Like in
Match.
match like Spanish, English, Spanish, English, Spanish, English.
It could be, but
Match the sound, because you know how music, it's, you know, they rhyme, like the words rhyme. So find
let's see. Do we have enough
Spanish.
words that rhyme? Because that's another good one, Fair. Do we have words that rhyme? I mean, it's a song. There should be words that rhyme.
Yeah.
Win. Yeah, win, then. Ah, it's 1, 2, 3. It's win, then, caving in, thing, shine, July, firework, worth, oh, space, replace. That's a good one. That's a good one. That's one idea. Very good, Fair. That's one idea. Words that rhyme, especially if you know that your students are good listeners, that's a good one. Words that rhyme. Nita says, turning those nouns into nouns that end with ing, like fill, filling is a plastic bag. Okay, it could be, but not all of them can be, you can add, not all of them transform into another noun with ing. That actually, let me just have it here just in case, because the one that Fernando said is good. So for the intermediate, words that rhyme. That's one. But there is an even better activity, and I mean, Jaxelis gave you the idea. There are a lot of really basic nouns. Nouns that they should be able to identify just by listening. Just by listening. Look at the words. Plastic, bag, wind, start, or that's not a noun. Paper, house, cards, screams, feet, really basic, light, night, baby, firework, that's a verb, sky, space, future, rainbow, hurricane. Come on, guys. don't make me tell you the activity, but it's, remember.
Give me a hint. Come on, expert. Come on, expert. Yeah. Hint, please.
Oh my God. I mean, there are a lot of really basic nouns, and your students are on the intermediate level, B1, B2. They are supposed to do a fill in the blanks activity. You have a lot of really easy nouns, basic nouns that they should know. So what activity can you create based on that?
Teacher, another clue. Naguará.
Come on. You, actually, you gave them like the biggest clue. Fill in the blanks, but to do what?
To guess.
Exactly.
To guess the phrase. Guess the part of the song. Guess I don't
Getting
know.
hot, getting hot, getting hot, getting hot.
The part
Fill
of
in
the
the
song.
blank.
To guess the sentence? I don't know
Not
this.
exactly the sentence, because it's a song.
The
It's
meaning. The meaning in
fast.
Spanish.
No.
The context.
Guess the verse.
No. No, oh my God.
Oh my God.
Guys, you're killing me.
You're killing
Don't say
The
it yet.
tense, no, because we're talking about nouns.
Don't say it yet.
You're killing us. You are killing me. YouTube is just a joke, YouTube. It's just a joke. Don't block this video. Oh my God. Guys, I mean, I need to do it because I need you to focus on the other activity. The thing is, you have a lot of, let me use another color. You have a lot of, let me use this one. A lot of easy, basic nouns. You have plastic, which could be a noun or an adjective. Here is working as an adjective. This is another noun. Wind, paper. You have cards. Tell me, Jaxelis.
Guess the part of the speech.
No, because every single one I'm marking is a noun.
Okay. You got
So
it.
these are just examples, and there are many more. So you give them the song, and only for the intermediate students, you eliminate these words. And like Fernando said, fill in the blanks. Yeah, but I said filling with what? Fill in the blanks using the nouns that you hear, singular or plural. And since they are really basic, they should be able, I don't remember exactly the first part of a song, but to listen when Katie says wind. Wind. So they write wind. Paper is easy to remember, paper. Okay, paper. Cards. You eliminate these words on the song. You can ask ChatGPT, give me a Katy Perry firework lyric and eliminate all the nouns, or eliminate the following nouns: plastic, bag, wind, paper, cards. And ChatGPT, boom, gives you the list like this. You print it and there you go. If it's in a classroom. If it's for you to work online, it's easier. You create the document, you send it to your students. They are connected online, they are listening to the song. The starters are just listening to verbs in the simple present, and they already have a list of verbs. The intermediate students, the B1, B2, they need to find words like only nouns. Or, like Fernando mentioned, words that rhyme, if you want them to practice listening. Now, for your advanced students, C1 or C2, they need to reflect on the song's message, the tone, or the social theme. This song has a social theme, a strong social theme. So those Katy Perry fans, this is your time to shine. What activity are your advanced students going to do with this same song? Katy Perry fans. Come on.
Complete the song.
Complete the song, but doing what, Maria Daniela?
Okay,
Okay, guys, complete the song. Go. Complete the song, guys.
I'm
Teacher,
not
with what? I
complete.
don't know, guys. Complete the song. Just do it. Like
You make me feel like you know who.
Oh my God. But I'm not doing anything. I'm not being like Professor Sparrow. I'm just pointing out what you said. You said, okay, complete the song. Doing what? Okay, complete the song. With what? What's the underlying theme? So first, you need to understand, of course, what the song is about. So Katy Perry fans, come on. Salvador says Scarlett would be, yeah, Scarlett would be great, but she's not connected. But Scarlett would be awesome here. She would give us like a 2-hour presentation, unprepared, of what the song is about. So what activity are your advanced students gonna do? Tell me, Jackson.
Maybe make another presentation where they will have to describe a detailed and deep analysis about the message behind the song, as the way that you did with us in Seminario de Lectoescritura.
I remember the song.
With
We
this
had to
drama.
analyze. Remember the activity about semantics that you need to analyze the songs, and you were like, oh my God. And then you were like, oh, now I understand what the songs are trying to say.
Yes, and also they will have to do the presentation and bring some material just to do something different than a typical essay or a typical academic stupid thing. I don't know.
Thing is, your advanced, yeah, just like Fernando is saying, the song is telling you that you rock. Regardless what life throws at you, you shine, you are the best, you are your own light. Go there and eat the world. So there is a social theme inside the song. So your advanced students a comprehension listening where they have to comprehend, of course, if the verbs or words that are in the song are in the listening. I don't know. Not exactly, Nita. It's more like something in deep, something that's challenging for advanced students. Maybe have them listen to the song once or twice, because for the starters, you need them to listen to the song at least twice, maybe 3 times, especially if they haven't heard the song before, or maybe they have heard the song, but they didn't pay attention to the lyrics. Now they have them on their hands. So listen to the song 3 times, take a look at the lyrics, and analyze. So what questions can you create? Maybe a personal analysis of one part of a song. In this case, it could be the first verse or the second verse. Yeah, because the chorus is always the same. So, that's a good one. Personal analysis. And maybe if you have, let's say that you have 6 advanced students in the group. 3 groups of 2. And they need, okay, one group is going to analyze the first verse. Second group, this verse. This is just the pre-chorus. Then the third group is going to analyze this one. There you go. And then all together, they analyze this one. Yeah, I like that. Personal analysis of the verses. And there you go, guys. Take a look. It's the same song. Is the same song, but you have 3 different groups of students. They are going to be working with the same song. With it, I'm just too good to teach beginners. So they are going to be working with the same song, but they have different activities about the very same song. Starters, they have the song with the lyrics, and they have nothing else. They need to find, highlight, underline, whatever, verbs in simple present. Maybe if you want to make it more challenging for them. So now, guys, with those verbs, we are going to create sentences. 1 sentence for each verb. Great. That's for starters. Nice. Then your intermediate B1, B2 students, you're going to find either you're going to listen to, first part, you're going to listen to the nouns. So you give them the lyrics without the nouns. You remove all the nouns. Again, you tell ChatGPT, I need you to give me Katy Perry fireworks song and remove all the nouns. Give me a space for my students to complete, and ChatGPT will do it. Boom. You print it or you send it if it's an online activity. So the first thing the intermediate students are going to do, listen to the song. Ah, she said plastic and she said bag. So they write down plastic, bag. Then with those same words, now, which words rhyme? And it's the same activity for those students. And then with the same song, your advanced students are split in groups. They're going to analyze the verses and they're going to give me a personal analysis. Okay, so do you ever feel like a plastic bag drifting through the wind, wanting to start again? I think that's like an analogy. A plastic bag drifting through the wind. When you see a plastic bag drifting through the wind, there was someone who used the plastic bag and just threw it away. So the plastic bag is just moving around, doing nothing, being just trash. So have you ever felt like that? Okay. Have you ever felt terrible? Like you want a new chance? Do you ever feel so paper thin? When I say paper thin, look at how thin. Wait, again. How thin a sheet of paper is. So have you felt like that? Like so terribly? Like a house of cards, one blow from caving in? Oh, okay, so what is this verse telling me? Like, it's trying to find whether the listener or try to identify with the person who has felt used in their life, that they feel terrible, that they worth nothing, blah, blah. And then the other group analyzes the second verse. And it's a more advanced thing. You see, the same song, 3 different activities for different students. You can do it when you have groups. Those who are working, Nita, you're working with the courses at the Pedagógico, right? You can do something like this, because even when you're teaching a level, you know that some of your students are better than the others. You can do this, different activities aimed to students with different skills. You can do this. It's quote unquote easy to do. You just need to analyze. Now, guys, pause and reflect. I want you to write on the chat one thing you learned today, maybe one strategy you'll try in your own class. And it says Padlet, just type in the chat box. And check this out. Learning happens when we adapt to learners. So let me read your thoughts. Or you can activate your microphone if you want to say anything that you learned during the class, especially if you have groups. This could also be adapted to children. With children's songs, you can do the same thing, different activities for children. Hmm? Anyone want to share your thoughts? Let me stop sharing here. Okay, Hidai, let me hear you. Let us hear you.
Yeah. One thing, same as Anna, I'm realizing that I'm just good to teach beginners. That's one. Also, that I mean, I never have had the chance to. Okay, I feel uncomfortable. I'm gonna turn on my camera because it's odd not to see me there. To teach individually, not to a group. So I cannot yet relate to that kind of teaching. Like you have to adapt the activities for each one of them for them to perform. And on from every subject, the kid that he was raised to, like I don't know, learn about mathematics, physics, is not going to have the same speed of learning than another kid that has no clue or anything else. I said that because I was one of those kids with English. I started to speak the language when I was 12, and I was beyond the level of my classmates until I was in the fifth year that I graduated from high school. So in this one, I know that there are activities that I can adapt to the class, but you have to think a lot. It's like something that you really have to put in
Yes. Yeah,
yourself
I mean,
to
the
work.
thing is that yeah, you need to think a lot about the activities you're gonna do to adapt, but now you have the assistance of AI, and it's
Yeah.
way easier to like I told you, if you write on ChatGPT, Gemini, Perplexity, anything. Okay, give me the lyrics to whatever song and eliminate the verbs, eliminate the nouns, and it will give you the lyrics. It's an activity for your students to fill in really quick. Let me read what Salvador says. He says in the chat. Wait. He says, I've learned that there are so many different ways to adapt, not only to a song, like the example, but anything that could help your students to upgrade their English skills with different levels or difficulties. Fernando says, I learned that creativity is the limit when it comes to creating activities. I wouldn't have thought of having 3 different tasks for a singular activity, and that's something I would use in my classes. Jack Sellis agrees, and that's something you can do because, like I mentioned, I know that Nita works with the English courses at the university, and Nita knows that even her students, even when they are at the same level, I mean, at least studying the same level, she knows that some students are better than the others, that they know more than the others. So Nita can have, you can do this not only with songs, with a listening from the book, with a listening activity. And you create you can, for F sake, you can tell ChatGPT, prepare 3 different activities for starter, intermediate, and advanced student about this listening, and you upload the listening, and ChatGPT can do it. You upload the file and it can do it. You upload the lyrics and it can do it. Jackson says, I think that the point of start creating a class is knowing exactly. Exactly. You need to know your groups. You need to know what you can do with your groups. You know what you can do, what you can't. Because especially if you're working in a physical classroom, there are some limitations. You know, you have some students who are terrible, I mean, in behavior, and that's a distractor. So that's something to bear in mind. But if it's an online content like this, there's a lot of things we can do. I mean, this subject is strategies to teach online, but I always like to suggest things that you can do in a classroom. You can do this in a classroom as well. But like Jackson said, you need to know your students. So you bring the activities already printed, and then you hand them in to your students. You can do it with songs. You can do it with listening. You can do it with videos that you play from YouTube. For example, there is a video that I use a lot with my students, especially with the visual students. Grecia, by the way, whenever you're back on classes, I have a video for you to work with. On that video, you see the actions that a man does. And the idea is the man does one action, you pause the video, you ask the advanced students, okay, what did the man do? Then you ask your intermediate students a different question about the same video. And then you have the starter students, a different question about the same video. And then you keep on going. And it's the same activity, different questions, and everybody feels included. It's amazing. Because even starters will feel like, oh my God, I helped the advanced ones. I helped, they didn't help. But just an example, they will feel like, oh, I helped the advanced one. The advanced students, they didn't know that the park where the man was, they didn't know that it was a sunny day. And I said it. And the advanced students knew it. I mean, they knew it, but let them dream. So I hope you can adapt this. I hope you can do this with your classes. Let me know, guys. Let me know if you were able to do it in your future classes. For those who are, well, Nita says, today I evaluate my students with a listening comprehension where they have to understand the riddles I was telling them, and they had to write down on a paper and guess the capacious vocabulary. Then write sentences with a definite article. And for my autist student, I did the same with her, but she had to guess with pictures and complete sentences. Of course, you adapted. You made her feel included because she was working with the same activity her friends were doing, but she was doing something that was specifically for her. Nice, nice, neat. For those who are having the AI subject with me, remember today it's really important to connect. We have the group activity. I'm going to separate you, and you will have the evaluation will be done on the spot. Okay, so I'll be waiting for you in approximately an hour and 8 minutes. Well, and for those who doesn't take the subject with me, well, see you next Saturday. Bye bye, guys.